Just a little bit of housekeeping. In my intro, since Jess just had mentioned it, I did not again mention Pledge Drive, so I should mention that we are in Pledge Drive. I'm sure everybody knows that by now, other than people driving through the area who've never been here before and never had their car radios set to 90.1 FM, in which case, hello, thank you for joining us. We have Lanterna on tonight, and if you want an idea of how long... I don't want to say how long I've been waiting to have Lanterna back, but how long since we've had Lanterna. I was audience and had never DJ'd here last time Lanterna was on. So very happy to work this out.
That's a long time.
Of your 2002 contemporaries, I'm not sure how many we could even get back at this point, since those bands tend to have more people in them than Lanterna.
Yes, 2003, Todd, actually.
Okay, your email said 2002, so I don't question you. Maybe I can start if you, but you've been pretty reliable. So now, because I think in your entire catalog, I only know of one song with vocals. If you would be good enough to tell the audience, I think I can identify most of the songs, but if for Mike's purposes of labeling the CD
Sure.
and the audience wanting to know where they can buy which songs, if you just wouldn't mind putting out the titles, that'd be great.
Sure. I just played Clear Blue. It was off of the CD Highways. I didn't know I could do such things on community radio.
As give the titles.
Selling and, oof.
I am a big believer that here, if we can't identify the music we play for people when they ask, then I'm not doing my job. So, because I'm the sort of listener, if I hear something on the radio and it's not identified, then I spend years wondering what it was and wanting to know how to direct my money to the musician and not just going around mumbling about it.
Yes.
Anyway, do you want to catch people up on the past 13 years, or just play more music, or both?
Maybe play a little bit more music. I wanted to play a song called Silent Hills, which is the first song on the first CD, a song by Brendan Gamble and myself, and we recorded it more than 13 years ago, probably, what is 91? 91 minus, or plus, or...
Let me show you something. As you can go ahead and play it, and I can show you afterward.
Okay.
Silent Hills by Lanterna. I was going to encourage you to do two in a row, but you mentioned Brendan Gamble, and I'm thinking a lot of our younger listeners might not know that you were in a band together. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or...
Sure. Yeah, Brendan and I were in the Moon Seven Times together. Brendan's a drummer, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, and back in the early 90s, we also wrote some songs, and he recorded on the first Lanterna record and sort of gave the whole thing its sound.
Some of our listeners might know him from Stark and Hathaways.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Worldwide, probably not a lot of people know him from Stark, but that's because I don't know that I've ever seen their stuff for sale in a store.
Yeah. Well, it has been. Record
I-
swap some time ago.
So you mentioned Silent Hills, and for whatever reason, we got a new copy of this in 2012, which was a really nice excuse to play it as new music for, I don't know, 3 months.
Wow.
I kept feeling like it wasn't really new music, but we had it's clearly a repackage. It's nice. I'm not sure how it got here, but so it's actually newer music than a lot of your other albums to some of our listeners. And that's not to underestimate our listeners. It's just that if they discovered it here, it was out of order, but I was very happy to relive it.
Yeah, sure. I have a friend in Greece who once in a while, the second record was called Elm Street, and as I visited and played at his club and he started to play bass with the band when I was over there, he, and this is sort of joking somewhat, he used to say, as more albums came out, he would say, you know, that Elm Street, that's still the best one. And I would say, yeah, thank you. And now on 5 or 6, but but actually that second one is very, very nice, and maybe I would admit that I've never topped that one.
How did you... Was it originally just a one-off that led to many shows in Greece, or was it part of... Did you envision any of this, or... Because you're kind of a big deal. I mean, I think you're a big deal here, but you're an especially big deal over there.
It was just being invited to play there at a club. A friend or someone who I didn't know was starting a club on the coast and invited me to come, and I came back the next year and the next year, and then eventually we were able to put some festivals together and things like that. So, yeah, it is strange. I don't know. I think that second record, Elm Street in 2001, did get some airplay there, or some DJs in various cities were playing it. So it is, people do tend to know the band, which is fun, which is nice. Amalfi?
Which coast?
Which coast is it?
Greece has enough coast that that doesn't narrow it down for me.
Yeah, that might be part of Italy. This is the
okay.
This is facing the Aegean, out towards the east, south of Athens on the Peloponnesus.
Trieste was as far as I got, so that probably explains my I started to say italicizing, but that's not the right word. Italianizing.
Yes.
And we probably should plug. You are, I think, unique among local artists being on Badman Records.
Yes.
If there are other locals on Badman, I'm not aware of it. So.
Yeah, there might be. I haven't. I'm sure they would let me know.
So if anybody fond of Badman or at Badman is listening, thank you for helping make this music available.
Yes, Dylan, I did send out an announcement that you could listen live online.
I should check our listenership and see how people are doing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep you from playing music, so if you'd even like to do two in a row, I'm cool with that.
Sure, I'll do a song called West Side Highway. It's off of the third CD called Sands.
That gets a lot of play here, so thank you. One advantage to both longer songs and me checking listenership is that sometimes listenership increases through the process. So
Yay.
now that song, once again,
Was West Side Highway.
which kicks off Sands, right?
Yes.
I think the first time I ever saw you was you opened for the opener on some sort of showcase at the High Dive, and Sands had just come out. I don't know if it was actually supposed to be a release show, but I was along for the ride and wound up spending more than no regrets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was with, that was my first show with Eric Jabot,
Okay.
the drummer who's been playing with me for the last many years, as well as Nick McCree, I think, was playing that night.
Didn't he just play your release the other night?
Mm-hmm. And Eric Jabot and Brian Crum. The record, this new record, Backyards, Louis Simon, then from, I always get it wrong, it wasn't Utah, it was Idaho, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now he lives in Florida.
Oh.
But he plays drums on the record, and I recorded it, as I have the last few, with Mike Brosco here in Champaign, friend of the Lonely Trailer folks, and has recorded some of their records as well recently.
Nick is the one who keeps a picture in his attic, right?
Nick or Brian?
McCree?
McCree. I'm not sure.
Well, I think you said the other night he
He's not
is
aged.
unique in the band in that he hasn't aged since you.
That's true.
So.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's Nick.
Okay, just making sure I had them straight. Who's who?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Want to credit everybody, but it's nice if in my head I have the bassist playing bass and the drummer playing drums and
Yeah.
you doing what you do. So are we hitting all the albums tonight, or
I don't know, but I just realized I did play Clear Blue, which is the first song on one of the albums, and then I played Silent Hills, which is the first song on another, and then West Side Highway, which is the beginning song on Sands. So now I'm going to play Backyards from the new album, Backyards. I didn't intend this, but it just happened that way.
you're almost to the point where you have a greatest hits reissue.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
just track 1 or track 2 off every album.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I hope, I don't know if Dylan Majerick at Badman is listening out in Portland now is where they're based. But
Oregon, not Maine.
yeah, Maine, or no, it is Oregon, Portland, Oregon. He has really put out a lot of Lanterna CDs, and it's been great to work with him over the years.
Good for him. And be sure to save time for at least one 6-minute song.
Okay, sure.
I guess we're past the half, so I should do the station ID.
Sure.
This is WEFT 90.1 FM Champaign. You're listening to WEFT Sessions with special guest Lanterna, who will be back again 13 years from, hopefully. 12 years, not 13. Slight adjustment there. We'll talk.
Okay.
Come 2026, let's check your schedule.
That's a long time from now.
Well, I mean, you could come early. But
Okay.
any? I guess you just came off some gigs. Is there anything left to plug?
Yeah, actually, I was going to started working on some East Coast shows quite a few weeks ago, hoping to get ahead of the game, and so they're still quite a ways away.
East Coast of North America?
Yes.
Okay.
June, trying to remember, June 10th in New York at the Living Room in Brooklyn, and the 11th in Philadelphia at Johnny Brenda's, and then in D.C. at it's sort of a studio space from a friend of ours. So 3 shows and some other things, but Eric Jabot is going to fly out and meet me in Boston. We're going to rehearse and then do the tour.
No Panama City Beach dates?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But if anyone's out there who wants us to come and play in Panama City.
Oh, and the albums you're playing from, are they all still in print?
Yeah, definitely
available?
on the that download format. And I know that Badman just repressed Highways, the 4th one, and they do seem to be floating around. And I actually brought, just a moment, a copy for show of a new vinyl copy of Backyards, licensed by Independent Projects Press. So,
I used to joke, hold it up to the radio, but now that we have a camera crew,
yes.
it's not a joke anymore. Now, you said that's a special vinyl?
It's the vinyl edition of the record, and the album happened to be short enough so that it would fit on a vinyl without pulling one's hair out.
Do you mind if I ask about what color? What?
It's just a regular old LP
Okay.
vinyl record.
Nowadays, black is almost a statement.
Yes, it's making a statement. Just the old record vinyl color, printed in or pressed in Czechoslovakia.
Oh, wow. That's, you don't hear that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, local artist on a California and Oregon, weren't they Bay Area at one point?
Yes, they were.
But now they're Portland?
Mm-hmm.
And Czechoslovakia vinyl pressing.
Yes,
So we're just around the world with you.
definitely.
Where are we going now?
I'm going to play something off of Elm Street. It's the second song called B minor.
We listened to that at music committee tonight.
Thanks.
We have had good performances on the show where listenership was loyal but flat. But you're clearly doing something right because listenership has just been increasing throughout the hour. So I would like to thank everybody who has tuned in, everybody who's let me know they've tuned in, and everybody responsible for them tuning in. So,
Yeah, I wanted to dedicate that song to Nikos, the friend of mine who plays bass in Greece on the tours I've done over there. I promised him I would. If he listened in, it's probably 6 in the morning there,
Wow.
which they're probably still going strong at the bar.
and what would be an appropriate good morning or hello in Greek?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. At the
One
music
of those words.
earlier tonight, I was telling the music committee that a rock station in town decided to have a local song bracketed competition about 2002. And I don't know if you were privy to this, but they put in B minor for diversity, and it made the final four, and it didn't fit their playlist at all. And apparently I don't think they were happy about it, but their listeners were calling up, melting the phone lines in favor of it. So that always brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, that's nice.
And now all the people responsible for putting it on the playlist are long gone, and probably nobody there is even aware it happened. But I certainly enjoyed hearing it on a commercial rock station. I don't know that it was worth listening for that, but I mean, long term, but short term, it was delightful.
Yeah.
So yes, you're a crossover hit. You still have plenty of time, I think. So wherever you want to go. Breaking up a little bit in the bottom.
In the bottom one. Okay.
It's intermittent. I guess I should also recognize our future listeners on public access. So whether you're listening live or even if you're listening in the future, thank you. And once again, this is WEFT Sessions on WEFT 90.1 FM Champaign with special guest Lanterna. Lanterna tonight is a solo act. That's not always the case, but often.
Yeah. Want to do a song called Coastal Route, and it's from the new CD.
Just a couple things before I forget. I actually heard from a listener who remembered that call-in contest.
Oh.
I was not expecting that. And also, somebody would like to, let me try that again. We had a request for you to do a Pages for All Ages show in the Raleigh-Durham area. So if you can find a Pages for All Ages, which I think there was only one of them, but if you could find a comparable bookstore that would compensate you appropriately for going all the way to the Research Triangle Park and playing a coffee shop, you've got a built-in audience.
Sure.
That's probably true in a lot of places, but...
We'll tell them to contact me on Facebook, and I'll head down that way.
Well, once again, would like to thank you for playing for us tonight. As I said, we actually don't have to space it out quite as far apart as we have, but
Yeah.
you're a busy guy. So
Sure.
before I forget, last time you were helpful in, since you have you were in the scene obviously before I was, is there anything you would like me to set aside for the next hour rather than something you would not like me to set aside for the next hour?
Oh, that's okay.
Maybe,
I'll listen to whatever you are going to play.
well, there's no shortage, so just wanted to put it out there. And let's see, you probably have time for 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
We're not going to, I mean, if you're mid-song at 11 o'clock, we're not going to pull the plug.
Well, sure. I have another one with a healthy running time.
Well, maybe if you have 2 more long ones, you want to just talk in between them and
Sure.
go straight from the last. All right. You, once again, are listening to Lanterna on WEFT Sessions.
Thank you.
I think it's 11.
We have time for one more. No?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I was going to say the comments have been kind enough. I think they might turn on me if there's not one more.
Okay.
It,
sure.
It's entirely up to you, but anything you want to say to sum up? Anybody you want to recognize that you haven't already?
Just the the usual folks, Dylan at Badman and Mike Brosco here in Champaign. Adam Schmidt actually mastered the vinyl as someone who still knows how to master vinyl.
I think I saw him at your record release, and I don't think I had seen him in about 10 years, so I'm glad to know he's, alive and walking.
He's around all the time. I see him at the store very often.
It's funny, he was one of two people present when I signed my organ donor card in a pen that wiped off within 2 days, I think. But, I sort of took for granted I'd see him within 10 years of that, so I'm glad I didn't have to, take him up on it. But in any event, it's funny how they reminiscing and all. Lots of delightful hearing from people tonight, and delightful hearing these songs, and I hope the album sells really well and generates more tour dates.
Yeah, I hope so.
So
It's
what?
been great to play here. Why don't I finish with a song called Hollows?
All right, and of course you're invited to stick around if you get bored afterward.
Sure.
Thanks. Stay tuned.